I don't care what module I'm in. I hate the graph questions, but we're going to have time in the first module, hopefully, to do these. We need to support the researcher's conclusion. So that just means make sure that when you're reading this passage, there's going to be a sentence where they're kind of like, the researchers concluded, focus on that one more than anything else. So these people presented study participants with vignettes about fictive political candidates. So fictitious. Okay, it's fiction. It's not true. Portraying them as embodying a personality trait widely considered admirable, agreeableness, or one considered ignoble, example, cynicism. So good or bad, they have good and bad traits. A survey recorded participants' ratings of the candidates' likability and showed that across the participants, ignoble trait candidates were less likable than admirable trait candidates. Okay. However, anytime there's a but, when the researchers factored in the participants' own personality trait scores on a scale of 1 least ignoble to 7 most ignoble, they concluded that this relative ranking of candidates persisted except among the participants with high ignobility scores. So that seems to be here. And look what's happening, right? The ignoble is bigger than the admirable at those points, right? So they were saying that ignoble trait candidates were less likable. Right, so candidate likability score, higher score equals more likable. So generally speaking, they're saying that the admirable people were more well liked, which we can see kind of happening down here, right? From kind of 1 to 5. But at 6, something changes, and these ignoble traits of participants, the evil participants think the evil people, the evil fake people, are better, are more likable. So that's why that square line is going above the triangle line at that point. So all of this I'm getting just because of the description of the passage and the chart itself. Like it's kind of, this is a rare example on these where they're describing the chart pretty well, the graph pretty well. So we got to support this. So basically I'm just going to look for the evil people. I don't know, like evil people, something like that. But we're going to back it up with data. There was a strong positive correlation between participants' ignobility scores and admirable traits like candidates' likability ratings, but there was no correlation between ignobility scores and ignoble trait candidates' likability ratings. No, this is clearly wrong because it's just saying there's something doesn't matter, right? There's no correlation between the ignobility scores and ignoble trait candidates' likability. No, when we say evil people like evil, that's what we're saying, is that there is some sort of correlation, right? The more evil you are, the more evil you're going to like your people to be. So no, this is just saying something doesn't matter that clearly does. B, participants with an ignobility score of 5 or less rated admirable trait candidates as more likable than ignoble trait candidates. Let's stop there. Is that true? Yeah, that's kind of where this red line is here. 5 or less, admirable, higher than ignoble. Okay, so check. That part is all check. Whereas participants with an ignobility score of 6 or more rated ignoble trait candidates as equally likable or even as more likable than admirable trait candidates. Yeah, that's a very wordy choice, but it's saying the right thing, right? It means that when we get to 6 or 7, it flips, which is kind of what we said. And so that seems good. Both pieces of that seem okay. We still have to look at C and D though. Overall, participants rated admirable trait candidates as quite likable, and that rating was not significantly affected by the participants' ignobility scores. No, actually, that is true. So that is really saying that this line of triangles is kind of the same for everyone, that everyone thinks that the admirable people are the same level of admirable, I guess. So that's actually true. But notice our dumb summary is about the evil people. So this is true, but irrelevant. D. Unlike participants with an ignobility score of 6, participants with an ignobility score either greater or less than 6 gave admirable trait candidates and ignoble trait candidates different likability ratings. Again, that's true because the 6 are the only ones where they seem to be equal, but they're lumping 7 in with 1 through 5. Because yes, they gave them different ratings, but what's really important for the passage is that the evil people ranked the evil people better, right? And so this is kind of taking out the connotation and just saying it's different, but we really want to keep the connotation in there and say the bad people like the bad people. So again, this is true as far as I can tell, but B is certainly better. It's hitting the idea the way it was presented to us. That's the way to go. And this is one of the things that happens with these graph questions is some of the choices may be false, but sometimes they're all true. And it's more about the main idea. And we don't really know going in what it's going to be. So you just got to try to keep everything in mind and check whether the data is true, but also check whether it matches your dumb summary. And hopefully you can kind of pull a dumb summary out of this.